There comes a time in your life when something clicks. You suddenly see what you could never see before, and everything changes inside you. You realize you've spent years trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand you, no matter how kind or honest you were. That moment feels like waking up. You breathe deeper, you stand taller, you feel lighter, stronger, and finally free from the weight of needing approval. Today, my friend, you'll learn one of the greatest secrets of confidence. Peace, a rem, and real personal power. The secret is simple and life-changing. When you stop explaining yourself, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your direction clears, your peace returns. You finally live for yourself, not for others' opinions. Most people waste their energy trying to convince others that they're good, kind, smart, or capable. They live for permission instead of purpose. They justify their dreams. They defend their mistakes. They over-explain their choices. And in doing so, they drain the energy meant for growth and creation. But here's the truth. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone who already judged you. Their minds are made up, and that's not your job to fix. You don't need to explain your growth to people who never cared to see it. Your peace doesn't depend on their understanding. Your life becomes powerful the moment you stop trying to be understood by those who never tried to understand you. That's when freedom begins. In this lesson, you'll learn how to stop explaining yourself and turn that silence into strength, clarity, and unstoppable confidence. Let's begin with the first truth. People who judge you are not looking for explanations. They're looking for more reasons to judge. Many people explain themselves out of fear. Not fear of danger, but fear of being misunderstood, misjudged, or seen as wrong. That fear hides quietly inside you until someone questions your choices. Then it whispers, "Explain yourself. Make them understand. Prove your worth." Because you don't want conflict or rejection, you start talking. You defend every small decision, hoping your words will earn their approval. But here's what most people never see. Those who judge you aren't asking questions to understand. They're asking to control, not to connect. Picture this real-life example. You finally decide to follow your dream. Maybe you start a business, change your job, or learn something new and exciting. You feel alive, motivated, and proud of yourself. Then you share your plan with someone you trust, hoping they'll cheer you on. Instead, they say, "Are you sure? Isn't that too risky? Do you even know what you're doing?" And your excitement slowly fades. You switch into defense mode. You start explaining your plan, your reasons, your steps, even your hopes, everything to make them understand. But while you're talking, their face doesn't change. No encouragement, no support, just doubt. And that's when realization hits you. No matter how clearly you explain, their opinion won't change. Because their questions were never about understanding. They were about control. They want you to doubt yourself. They want your dream to shrink until it fits their comfort zone. That's why explaining never works. The more you talk, the more power you give them. The more you justify, the smaller you feel, and the cycle repeats endlessly. So what should you do? Stop explaining. Save your breath, your time, and your energy. Use them to move forward, not backward. You don't need to defend your choices to those who already decided you're wrong. Their approval adds nothing to your growth. The moment you stop explaining, something powerful happens. Their words lose power, and your confidence rises above their opinions. Their judgment becomes just background noise. You stop reacting, start creating, and realize your peace matters more than their understanding. When you stop explaining yourself to people who judge, you take your power back. That's the moment your real confidence begins. Here's the next truth. Your actions speak louder than any explanation. Talk less. Do more. Let your results become your voice. Many people think if they explain enough, people will respect them. But the world doesn't respect explanations. It respects execution. When you explain, people hear words. When you act, they see results. And results are impossible to argue with. Actions are pure evidence. Your actions reveal your truth more than your promises ever could. They show your discipline, your values, and your character in motion. Saying, "I'm working hard," means little until people see you waking early, practicing daily, improving steadily, and refusing to give up. Saying, "I'm changing my life," is just talk until your habits shift, your focus sharpens, and your behavior proves it. When you explain, people doubt. When you act, people notice. They may stay silent, but they feel the difference in your energy. Over time, your actions speak louder than any story you could tell. You no longer need to convince anyone. Your progress convinces them. Those who trust you never needed explanations. Those who doubt you won't believe them anyway. So stop wasting words on closed minds. Your actions are your reputation. Your habits are your identity. Every choice you make builds your story more powerfully than any defense could. People who talk too much often do too little, but those who work silently build faster, stronger, and with unstoppable momentum. Every minute spent explaining yourself is a minute you could spend improving yourself. Use that time to grow, not to justify. The world doesn't need more words. It needs proof. Show your growth through consistency, discipline, and quiet focus. One day, the same people who doubted you will ask, "How did you do it?" That's the beauty of silent progress. So act more, speak less. Build more, explain less. Let your growth do the talking for you. That's true power in action. When you focus on action instead of explanation, your confidence multiplies. You stop needing validation because your results speak for themselves. And when that happens, something inside you changes forever. You become calm, focused, and unstoppable in your purpose. You are not responsible for how others see you. This single truth can free your mind and completely transform the way you live each day. You are not responsible for other people's opinions, judgments, or interpretations of your choices, silence, or personality. That weight isn't yours. Their opinions belong to them, not to you. So stop trying to fix, control, or adjust yourself just to satisfy their limited understanding. Once you truly accept this, life feels lighter. You stop walking on eggshells, and your peace finally becomes your own again. Let's make this real with a story. There was a young man named Daniel who always tried to be good, polite, and respectful. He wanted everyone to like him. He helped everyone, spoke kindly, and worked hard to make others feel comfortable around him. But no matter what he did, someone always complained. When he talked too much, they called him annoying. When he stayed quiet, they called him arrogant. When he helped others, they said he wanted attention. When he didn't, they called him selfish. He could never win. Daniel started explaining himself all the time. He explained why he talked, why he stayed quiet, why he helped, why he didn't. He kept explaining until he felt tired, empty, and lost. He realized that no matter what he did, someone would still misunderstand him. Even if he lived perfectly, someone would find a reason to criticize. And that's when he finally stopped explaining himself. In that silence, he felt peace for the first time. He understood that freedom doesn't come from being liked, but from being real. The same truth applies to you. Some people will misunderstand you because they don't know you, others because they don't want to. Some will judge you because they're unhappy with themselves, and some simply because judging makes them feel important. Their opinions don't define your worth. Their comments don't change your truth. Their judgments don't decide your future. So stop trying to manage other people's minds. You can't control what they think, and you don't have to. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to grow, to build, to live a meaningful life that reflects your values. Every time you stop explaining, you reclaim your focus. Every time you stay silent, you protect your peace and your energy. When you finally accept this truth, your heart becomes strong and your life becomes yours again. That's real confidence. Here's another lesson. Silence is a sign of confidence. In a loud world, silence often speaks the strongest language of power. Most people talk too much because they feel insecure. They fill every space with words, afraid of being misunderstood or ignored. But true confidence doesn't need constant talking. It doesn't chase approval. It simply moves with calm strength and quiet certainty. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means control. It means you trust yourself enough not to prove anything to anyone. When you explain too much, you give others power over your emotions. You let them twist your words or question your intentions. But when you stay calm and silent, you keep your strength. You create space for clarity, reflection, and emotional balance. Let's say someone criticizes you unfairly. The old version of you would rush to defend yourself, trying to prove every detail right. You'd talk endlessly, hoping they'd finally understand. But they never do, and you leave drained, frustrated, and angry. Now picture the wiser version of you. You hear the criticism, but you don't react. You stay calm. You don't explain. Your silence becomes your response. You keep walking forward. That calm confidence speaks louder than any words could. People notice it. They see your strength. They realize you're not easily shaken or controlled by opinions. That's real maturity. Silence is not absence. It's presence. It says, I know who I am. I don't need to defend it. It communicates discipline, focus, and peace. Qualities every strong person carries quietly. It separates the grounded from the insecure. When you choose silence, you show emotional control. You show that your peace matters more than someone else's misunderstanding. Those who argue too quickly often reveal insecurity, but those who stay calm project authority without even trying. When you stop explaining, your silence becomes a shield and a statement. It shows you're unshakable and in control of yourself. Silence protects your focus. It saves your time. It tells people that your growth is private, not a debate for public approval. In time, people respect your quiet strength. They notice your stability, your calm reactions, and your ability to move forward peacefully. Silence turns into power because it says everything words cannot, that you trust yourself and don't need anyone's validation. The stronger you become, the less you feel the need to explain. Silence becomes not avoidance, but wisdom and self-respect. When you embrace silence, you embrace freedom. You stop living to react and start living to grow. The world may still criticize, misunderstand, or question you, but none of that matters when your peace is unshakable inside. That's the power of silence. Calm, steady, and unstoppable. It keeps you grounded when the world tries to shake your focus. And here's another truth. Not everyone deserves access to your reasons. Some people don't earn the right to know your why. Your dreams, goals, struggles, and victories belong to you. They're personal, sacred, and don't require public explanation. Every time you feel the urge to explain, pause and ask, does this person truly need to know? The answer is often no. Your journey is yours. Not everyone you meet is meant to understand it. Some people are watchers, not supporters. When you explain to people who aren't invested in your growth, you open the door to unnecessary judgment and distraction. They twist your words, misunderstand your purpose, and use your openness against you. Their feedback often comes from fear, not wisdom. That's why you must protect your dreams. Share them only with people who care, who listen with respect and genuine intention. Real supporters don't need explanations. They don't question your every move. They believe in your direction and celebrate your progress. The problem isn't your path. The problem is the audience. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table or access to your mind. Your reasons are sacred. Your energy is precious. Guard them carefully. Not everyone should touch the core of your motivation. The more you explain to the wrong people, the more you lose clarity. Protect your focus like it's your most valuable asset. Your life isn't a public debate. It's your creation. Share your thoughts only with those who uplift and understand your vision. When you stop explaining yourself to those who don't deserve it, your peace returns and your confidence grows effortlessly. That's when your true progress begins. When your energy is no longer wasted on convincing, but invested in creating. Be selective. Protect your thoughts, your heart, and your purpose. Not everyone is qualified to understand your reasons. Your goals are treasures. Guard them. Your energy is gold. Spend it wisely. Your peace is sacred. Defend it fiercely. When you stop explaining to the wrong people, you begin to see how fast your focus strengthens and how calm your mind feels. Freedom doesn't come from being understood. It comes from not needing to be. That's the shift of power you've been waiting for. Your energy is precious. It's one of your most valuable assets, and most people give it away without realizing how much it costs them. Every time you explain yourself, you spend energy, mental, emotional, even physical. Each conversation drains a little more of your strength. It might seem harmless to justify a few choices here and there, but those small moments add up and slowly weaken your focus. Every unnecessary explanation takes time and attention away from what truly matters: your growth, your dreams, and your peace of mind. Think of your energy like a bank account. Every word, every defense, every over-explanation is a withdrawal, and few people ever deposit back. When you constantly justify your life to those who don't care, you're wasting your emotional currency on an audience that doesn't invest in you. Over time, this habit leaves you tired, frustrated, and unfocused. You start to wonder why progress feels so difficult. The answer is simple. You're exhausted from giving energy to people who don't deserve it. You're fighting battles that were never yours to fight. People who judge or doubt you don't want understanding. They want control, and no explanation will ever change their opinion. Yet many still spend hours, days, or even years trying to make others see their side. They trade progress for validation and peace for proof. But your energy is not infinite. It must be protected. You need it to build, learn, grow, and stay strong through life's challenges. You need it to focus deeply, make bold choices, and stay calm when things get hard. That energy powers your success and stability. When you use it on unnecessary explanations, you rob yourself of that strength. You end up tired not from life, but from people. The moment you stop explaining, you reclaim your energy. You suddenly feel clearer, lighter, and more focused on what truly matters. You have more strength to work on your goals, sharpen your skills, and create opportunities that push you forward, not hold you back. This is not pride, it's protection. Protecting your energy means protecting your potential, your peace, and your future. Every minute spent defending your decisions is a minute stolen from building your dream. Every explanation delays your progress. When you stop giving those explanations, something powerful happens. You gain control. You regain focus. You start growing faster than ever before. Your mind feels free. Your emotions feel balanced. You wake up with energy to create instead of defend. That's the beginning of transformation. You finally realize that your strength doesn't come from convincing others. It comes from believing in yourself and staying consistent. So remember this: your energy is too valuable to waste. Use it on action, not approval; on growth, not explanation. Guard it fiercely. Direct it toward your passion, your learning, and your purpose. That's how you turn energy into real results. When you stop explaining, your energy multiplies. You become productive, peaceful, and powerful. you grow faster than you ever imagined. Which brings us to the next truth. When you stop explaining, you grow faster. The less you talk, the more you transform. Constant explanations slow you down. They shift your focus from creation to validation, from improvement to defense. That's how progress dies quietly. When you justify your choices, you give attention to people's opinions instead of your own growth. You feed doubt instead of direction. Every explanation is a delay. It keeps you tied to others' expectations instead of moving toward your own goals. Growth requires focus, energy, and consistency. Explanations steal all three. They distract your mind, weaken your drive, and blur your purpose. When you stop explaining, the noise fades. The distractions disappear. You finally hear your own thoughts clearly. That's when growth accelerates. You stop asking, "What will they think?" and start asking, "What do I want?" That simple shift changes everything. The first question traps you in fear. The second gives you control. One keeps you small, the other makes you grow. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop waiting for permission. You start creating progress based on your own standards, not someone else's. You stop chasing acceptance and start chasing improvement. You stop proving your worth and start proving your potential. Growth loves silence. Progress thrives in privacy. When you stop sharing every step, your focus becomes unstoppable. You don't need to announce your plans. You need to execute them. Every silent action adds up and builds real power. While others talk, you move. While they question, you build. While they doubt, you rise. Quiet work is the loudest proof. Each day you stop explaining, you move closer to the life you want. Your energy flows toward creation, not conversation. That's why private focus feels so powerful. You're no longer chasing reactions, you're chasing results. Every step forward without explanation strengthens your confidence. Each success reinforces your belief that silence can be your greatest ally. Because when you stop explaining, you stop reacting, you stop looking back. You start building forward with clarity and direction. You realize that your growth doesn't need to be understood. It only needs to be experienced by you. You stop explaining your dreams to others and start proving them to yourself through consistent action and visible progress. Every time you move silently, you plant seeds for visible success. And one day, those seeds become undeniable results. That's when the same people who doubted you come back, not for explanations, but for advice. And in that moment, you'll understand the power of restraint. How silence protected your energy long enough to create real transformation. The less you explain, the faster you evolve. Your time, energy, and focus all align toward growth, and your confidence skyrockets. So keep moving quietly, keep building, keep growing. Let your work be your argument. Let your consistency be your language. Because when you stop explaining and start doing, nothing can slow you down. You finally live with purpose, not pressure. That's when life begins to expand in every direction, faster, clearer, and stronger than you ever thought possible. The right people never ask for explanations. When you stop explaining yourself, you'll notice your circle starts to change naturally and powerfully. People who constantly question or doubt you are usually drawn to weakness. They sense insecurity and feed on it to feel superior. But when you move with quiet confidence, you send a different signal. You attract people who respect strength, focus, and authenticity. The right people don't need long speeches. They don't demand proof of your choices. They trust your intention and support your growth. They don't say, "Why are you doing this?" They ask, "How can I help?" They don't doubt. They believe in your direction. True supporters never need explanations because they see your purpose through your actions. They understand your path without judgment. These people won't ask you to defend your dreams. They'll encourage you to chase them and stand beside you when challenges come. When you stop explaining, your energy changes. You become calm, focused, and aligned with what truly matters in your life. That energy repels the wrong people, those who gossip, complain, and criticize, and attracts those who grow, learn, and build. Your new circle won't drain your motivation. They'll feed it. They'll push you to rise higher and believe stronger in your vision. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you stop attracting judgment and start attracting respect. You find people who value truth, not performance. The wrong people demand attention. The right people bring understanding. The difference is peace, progress, and emotional safety. Your life becomes richer because you're surrounded by those who align with your energy, not those who question your worth. When you're done seeking validation, you become magnetic to those who already see your value. That's how strong communities are built. Stop wasting energy on people who make you explain your every move. Use that time to connect with those who just get you. Support doesn't need explanation. It's silent, genuine, and consistent. It flows naturally when people share the same vision and values. So remember this: the right people will never make you feel small for dreaming big. They'll celebrate your progress and protect your peace. Once you stop over-explaining, your relationships will transform. You'll see who truly belongs in your life and who never did. Because true connection doesn't need endless talking. It needs mutual respect, shared growth, and trust built through action. Now let's move to the final and most powerful truth. Your life belongs to you. This is where everything truly changes. Your life is yours alone. Every decision, every mistake, every dream belongs to you, not to society, family, or strangers online. No one else has the right to approve or reject your direction. You are the author, the driver, and the builder of your own path. Yet most people forget this truth. They live defending every move, explaining every choice, and justifying every dream to others. This habit is exhausting and unnecessary. It steals your freedom and chains your life to other people's expectations. But the moment you accept that your life is yours, everything shifts. You no longer ask for permission to live the way you believe. You stop explaining your dreams to those who laugh, your boundaries to those who cross them, and your peace to those who destroy it. Each explanation you give to someone who doesn't deserve it is a small surrender of power. Each defense is a distraction from progress. When you stop explaining, you take that power back. You reclaim your right to live with clarity, confidence, and direction. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your dreams. They are yours to build, to fail, and to rebuild as you wish. You don't owe explanations for your boundaries. Protecting your time, energy, and peace is not selfish. It's survival for growth. You don't owe explanations for your silence, your rest, or your healing. These are private acts of strength, not weakness. Trying to justify them only drains you and feeds misunderstanding. You don't owe that to anyone. Your life, happiness, and future are your responsibilities. That's what makes your choices powerful. They belong completely to you. Every time you defend your choices, you waste energy that could create something meaningful. Every explanation delays your evolution. When you stop explaining, you start building. You direct your full attention toward what truly matters: your goals, growth, and freedom. Living without explanations isn't arrogance, it's authenticity. It's the courage to live by your values instead of others' opinions. When you make peace with that, life becomes simpler. You breathe deeper, think clearer, and finally move at your own pace. You begin to trust yourself again. You realize you don't need permission to change, grow, or walk away from what doesn't serve you. You no longer react to criticism. You simply continue your path, stronger and more focused than before. That's real self-control. Each step forward becomes an act of freedom. Each silent victory becomes proof that your life is yours to create. And one day, you'll look back and realize the moment you stopped explaining was the moment your real life began. You no longer live for validation. You live for alignment. You no longer chase approval. You chase purpose. You finally understand that freedom isn't given by others. It's built inside you through choices that reflect your truth. Take ownership of your life. Accept that you are the author, the captain, the architect of your destiny. No one else writes this story. Stop explaining your goals to people who haven't earned that trust. Focus instead on the silent work that makes them real. Protect your energy, protect your peace, protect your vision, because those are the foundations of a meaningful, unstoppable life. When you do this, you experience what real freedom feels like. Calm confidence, quiet strength, and total clarity about who you are. Your life belongs to you, and no explanation will ever change that. Live it fully, proudly, and unapologetically. When you stop explaining, everything changes. This is the turning point where peace replaces pressure and confidence replaces confusion inside your mind. You finally realize that living for others has been holding you back. You were never meant to prove yourself to everyone around you. Every time you defended your choices or justified your path, you gave away a little piece of your strength and peace. But now, that ends. You stop living to be understood and start living to be better, stronger, and more focused on your growth. You stop defending yourself and start developing yourself. You stop explaining and start expressing your truth through action and consistency. You don't need to explain why you dream big. Big dreams don't require approval. They require courage and daily effort. You don't need to explain why you protect your peace or why you walk away from drama. That's called emotional intelligence, not weakness. You don't need to explain why you change your environment, your habits, or your direction. Growth often looks like distance to small minds. These are your values, your choices, and your priorities. They don't need explanation because they are not open for negotiation. What matters is living with honesty, clarity, and strength, doing what aligns with your goals and your peace every single day. When you live like this, you become unstoppable. People can sense the difference. You move with focus, not fear. You no longer explain your silence. You embody calm. You no longer explain your ambition. You embody purpose. That's when everything begins to shift. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your presence feels grounded. Your life starts to speak for itself. You walk differently. You talk with conviction. You carry yourself with quiet power that no explanation could ever give. People begin to notice your calm confidence. They see your boundaries, your discipline, and your clear direction, and they respect it. You don't chase approval anymore. You attract respect naturally because your energy shows strength and self-control. At that moment, your life becomes a living example of confidence, built not on words, but on action, results, and authenticity. Here's the truth we teach in every English Achieve episode. Your actions define your life far more than your words ever can. When you stop explaining, your life starts speaking for itself. Every consistent step becomes a sentence in your story of success. You no longer need to prove who you are. You simply show it through your progress, your work, and your peace of mind. The world may not understand your silence, but it will recognize your strength. That's how real power works. Quiet, but undeniable. You move forward with intention, not reaction. You live with purpose, not pressure. You choose creation over conversation. And through that discipline, your entire energy shifts. You become calm, confident, and completely focused on what truly matters. That calm energy becomes contagious. The right people feel it. The right opportunities find it. The right doors open effortlessly. Because people who understand you never need explanations. And people who don't understand you will never accept them, no matter how clear. So stop giving your power away by trying to make them see your side. Focus that energy on building your future. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You just need to agree with yourself, with your values, direction, and purpose. Live your life. Build your future. Protect your peace. Stay consistent and let your results speak louder than your words. The best explanations are not spoken. They are lived. They appear through progress, success, and a peaceful, confident presence. Every person who ever achieved something great learned this secret. Talk less, work more, grow quietly, and stay true to your purpose. You owe the world no speech, no defense, no endless reasoning. You owe it only your authentic, disciplined, and evolving self. Because when you stop explaining, your energy multiplies, your confidence strengthens, and your path becomes crystal clear. The doubts fade away, the distractions disappear, the noise quiets. You finally see where you're going and who you're becoming. That's the real transformation, when you stop performing for understanding and start performing for progress. When you stop explaining, you free yourself to live deeply, create boldly, and walk your journey without hesitation. You realize that you never needed approval to begin. You only needed focus and belief. And now, you have both. From this moment forward, speak through your results, not your reactions. Let your actions prove what your words never could. Each day, wake up with a clear reminder. You don't need to explain your life. You need to live it fully. Move quietly. Build bravely. Trust yourself. And remember, silence is your strategy, consistency is your language, and peace is your proof. Because once you stop explaining yourself, your confidence becomes unshakable, your focus becomes razor sharp, and your success becomes unstoppable. This is your permission to stop defending, start creating, and live completely in your power. The world needs your strength, not your explanations. So from today, stop explaining, start living, and watch your world transform in ways you never imagined possible. Now, I want to hear from you. Has this message helped you see things differently? Do you feel ready to live without explaining? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone who needs this message right now. And if this video gave you strength or clarity, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs confidence today. Because the truth is simple. When you stop explaining, you start living. And that's when your real life begins.